With FC25 releasing at the end of this week, these next couple days, we can go over some stuff on FC25. And first off, on here, we're going to go through the top 5 teams that should be your first save on FC25. Starting off with number 1, you should always start off with your club that you support. If it's in the game, obviously, if you support a lower level team, then obviously you probably have a bigger team that you support because you just do. Don't lie to yourself. So always support your club that is in the game. Manage the club you support. Bring them to glory if they're in one of the lower leagues, or if you're like a team like Man City. Try not to break any more rules, like the 115 that you already have. Next up, we have Leeds United. After failing in the playoff final last season versus Southampton, Leeds United is probably one of the perfect sides to dig yourself into and bring them back to the Premier League and eventually go on to win the Champions League within 5, 6, 7 seasons. With the departure of Rutter, Archie Gray, Somerville, and Sinisterra, 4 of their key players last season, it is going to be a lot more difficult than it was last season to get back into the playoffs, get into the Premier League. So find some young talents to replace those guys and get yourself back up to the glory days for Leeds United. Next up, switching gears, going over to Germany and going to one of the most recommended clubs on every single FC cycle, FIFA cycle for the past 4 or 5 years. It's Schalke. They have been spending after years of playing in the top flight. Schalke have fallen to the second division for multiple seasons in a row. They even won the second division a couple years ago and then came straight back down to the second division after spending 1 season in the Bundesliga in the top flight. Bring them back to those glory days where they won their first division back all the way in the late 50s when it wasn't even the Bundesliga. It was some other league name. It wasn't the Bundesliga back then when they won it, but they have finished second in the Bundesliga. They finished third. They finished fourth. They just never finished first in the actual Bundesliga title, but they have finished first in the first division back in the late 80s. Actually finished first in the first division twice in the 50s there. So bring them back to glory days, get them to the Champions League, and obviously get them that trophy that everybody wants. Now switching back over to England, it's down to the Farmers in Ipswich. Keep them from getting relegated back into the Championship. They are probably everyone's rock solid team to getting back relegated into the Championship. They're known to be probably one of the worst teams in Premier League history. As preseason standings, they actually haven't really started the season off too badly. They've had a tough-ass schedule playing Man City and Liverpool already, but let's see if they can stay up into the Premier League, keep them in the Premier League, find some young talents to grow within them, and then get into a European powerhouse later down the line, 5, 7 seasons down the line. And then last but not least, our 5th club that you should think about managing in FC Barcelona and FC25 is Barcelona. They obviously have financial trouble registering players, not having enough wage budget, enough transfer budget, too much debt in their club to be able to register players. They have barely just only registered Danny Olmo over the last couple of weeks. He missed the first couple games of the season. So let's go and see if we can fix that, remedy that. Obviously, they're not going to have financial trouble in the game because it just can't be coded like that and with EA. So without the financial trouble, but they haven't won the Champions League in over 10 years. This actually would be the 10th year that they haven't won the Champions League. So see if you can get them back into Champions League glory where Messi said they would be. They haven't been. It's been all Real Madrid for Spain. Let's get Barcelona back to being the #1 club in Spain, possibly the #1 club in all of European football. And with the young wonder kid of Lamine Yamal, anything is possible. Keep him there as long as you can. That is all for the top 5 clubs. Let me know what clubs you are going to start with in your first save on FC25 down in the comments. And if you aren't subscribed already, go ahead and make sure you subscribe, but leave a like. And I'll see you all tomorrow for some more FC25 news.